Hey everybody, my name is Sheen and welcome back to Let's Play the Stanley Parable. Where we last left off, we got the other game's ending, and now we are going to get... I actually found out that there's actually 3 more endings I can get, so I'll get 2 of them in this video, and then the last one in the next video, which I'm hopefully going to be able to do tomorrow. So yeah, we're getting right into it. If this'll ever load. Can this please load? It's loading. And... excuse me. I burped. Anyways, come on. There.
This is the story. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, this is the I like to call it, I think this is called the out the window ending. Here we go at the window.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Okay.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Not
Why don't
really.
we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
What gag? I guess not.
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop?
You would
do you
probably
think
stop
would have
it?
been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Now, think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time.
Yes, it does.
What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Okay. Now I'm sick of this gag. Okay, we gotta restart the game. You know what?
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I kind of want to go see the other option.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary
I've come back
into the
to tell
nature
the
of video
narrator
game
that I am
structure
sick of this
and its
gag.
examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly.
This is actually really funny.
He was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all
This is hilarious.
in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
That is the best thing. Is he gonna restart it? Is he gonna restart it? Or is there another verse? Okay, I'm gonna restart the game. Alright.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Okay, I guess the dialogue when Stanley leaves his office does change every time you restart the game, because first time I restarted it, it said
when Stanley came
something
to
else,
a set of two open
and then the
doors,
second
he
time,
entered the door on his left.
And the second time, it changed again.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you the other ending now, guys. So.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope, where?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Now we're gonna go up there.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
Alright,
She's been waiting.
We're gonna see Stanley's wife.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay. Apartment 427.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go.
Who puts bread in the oven
I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on.
Narrator.
Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
You're begging it. Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Okay, I'll press that.
Look at him there, pushing buttons,
it's
doing
turned into a
exactly
desk.
what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Okay, press 4.
But in his mind,
What else changed?
in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands.
That's
It was
cool.
wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Ooh, press 0. Press
And
O
so
to watch
he
TV.
began to
I turned
fantasize
into a
about
clock
his
in a
own
filing
job.
cabinet.
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Okay. Why spend time with the boys?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Ooh, 8 prepared
As he
dinner.
wandered through
Turned into
this
a bunch of
fantasy
filing
world,
cabinets
he
and a
began to fill
lamp
it with
and
many
a
possible
box.
paths and destinations.
And another
Down
box.
one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
You need to tell my kids the story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Has to tell my wife I love her.
But there is no answer.
And
how could there possibly
Now she's
be?
a desk.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Okay. Age to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer.
Excuse
that as
me,
long
I
as he
burped
remains
again.
here, he's slowly killing himself.
Really?
But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. Is something gonna happen if I don't press it? I don't think anything's gonna happen, so...
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that
No.
every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself?
completely
How can
in
I
my
get him to
office.
see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Be to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose.
See,
I'll
narrator?
try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Huh?
And I tried again.
Please die.
And
What?
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
What happened? Oh, that was the ending. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What? What is this?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
And I want to see what this is.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. Is this just the same as
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Is this just gonna be the same? Yeah, I guess this is just the same, just with a different place down there. It's Stanley's office. So this is where I'm gonna be ending up. This is where I'm gonna be ending up this video. In the next video, I'm gonna get the last ending, which I get by unplugging that phone that Stanley answered because his wife. But for now, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!